At this time, we will discuss the complaint filed by former Public Works Director Hatton Wright. Is there any motion?
The motion from last meeting doesn't carry forward. The motion from last week's meeting doesn't carry forward?
No, sir. You would need to make a new motion to get something on the floor.
And I would like to make a motion that the Commission accept Attorney Flowers' investigation and findings as written and close the case from there.
Is there a second?
On the table?
Okay. Any discussion? Are you ready to vote? Any commissioners have discussion before we ask for citizen comments? Well, we typically discuss in advance and ask for citizen comments at the end.
I think we've done it both ways in the past. It's not a major issue, I don't think.
Anyone have anything to say? We will reopen the floor for citizen comments. If you wish to speak, the previously reviewed guidelines remain in place. You have 3 minutes, and the city attorney is the official timekeeper. If you'd give your name and address, please.
My name is Butch Ever. I live at 3114 North Waterford Court here in Mount Juliet. Having read the actual statements, not just the attorney's findings, I find it quite credible that there's evidence that there's been crimes committed in this city. I think it's incumbent upon this board to take that under consideration. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation has original jurisdiction over public corruption. I believe that there's evidence of public corruption. You're duty bound to refer this to the proper authority, the TBI being the original jurisdiction. I would ask you to refer this whole matter, including all of the complaints and everything surrounding all of the things that are happening in this city regarding Hatton Wright, previous complaints against him, and the testimony to the TBI. And I would ask that you would hold a special meeting to suspend the mayor from office while a hearing would be pending in that case. I think you have no choice. So this country is ruled by law, not by personality. There are laws that need to be followed. There's a decorum. There's a protocol. You're required to follow those. I would suggest that you do that, not vote just based on personality.
Anyone else wish to speak? If you'd give your name and address, please.
Yes, my name is Kevin Mack. I live at 2201 Brook Valley Court, and I agree with many of the people in the room here. And Linda, I'll address these comments to you since this involves you. I'll say that, yeah, you were our bright and shining star from the time that I appointed you to the Planning Commission through your first commission term, and even as your first year as mayor. I would agree with everything these folks say, and many of them we worked together on a lot of things. But then you stunned us as you went to work for a real estate developer that had funneled tens of thousands of dollars into your failed county mayor campaign. You didn't tell us at first, but when the newspaper told us what you'd done, you promised there would be no conflict of interest. And I'll remind the commission, this is how we, the citizens, found out about it. It says, why the secrecy? Mayor working for Mount Juliet retail developers still hasn't told city staff. New employer was a major contributor in county mayor campaign. You've read the testimony from the city planner of how before he found out she was working for that employer, she called him and tried to get favors done on behalf of that employer. But nevertheless, we still believed in you. But you did change. You first lobbied and then bullied city staffers to look the other way on holding developers accountable. We were stunned as you bullied on behalf of other developers, and then we were shocked when you applied pressure on behalf of your own employer. We all watched in sad amazement at your downward ethical spiral, but you bullied one person too many, and now your ethical meltdown has become public record. I asked this commission not to, I think this has been a good investigation in one sense. There's a lot of transcript pages out there. What I asked you to do is look beyond the report, which I would think would be best described as being a whitewash. You've got those testimony pages. You've seen them, and you've had a chance to make up your own opinion. The citizens elect and trust the mayor to look out for their interests versus developers. The mayor appoints the members of the Planning Commission, and more than any other person in Mount Juliet government stands between good and bad development. And so I ask this board to act tonight on the facts, not on the whitewash report, but on the hundreds of pages of sworn testimony, which I know you guys have taken a look at because I've talked to some of you about it. And, you know, it's not a whether you like Linda or don't like Linda, it's restoring trust in the position of protecting the citizens from unscrupulous development. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Anyone else? If you'd give your name and address, please.
My name is Dorinda Wolantarski. I live at 1329 Georgetown Drive in Mount Juliet, and I feel pretty much the way Kevin Mack feels. I'm just concerned that the message you're going to send if you accept the report and let everything go as if everything is okay and let Mayor Elam basically get away with some unethical behavior. The report did not clear her. Unlike what the Lebanon Democrat reported last week, she was not cleared of anything. It said there were especially two points of merit that were unethical behavior. However, one was before the ethics code was put into effect. That does not negate the fact that it was unethical behavior. That's just not proper. Now, I am an elected official with a much smaller basis. I am the president of Hickory Hills. If I allowed myself, there's one thing I'll give you in response to that. I'm dying to get a shed in my backyard. I would love to have a shed in my backyard. But the covenants in my neighborhood will not allow it unless I bring it before the board. If I do that as president, then it will not look proper. So I do not have a shed in my backyard because of that. Why? Because I think it would look unethical for the president of my neighborhood to have a shed in the backyard, even though I could pressure other board members to let me have one. To me, that's ethics. Now, maybe I have higher standards than what other people's ethics have. I would hope not. I would hope everyone has the same ethics that I do. And I would hope that the commissioners have the same ethics that I do and would go forward with this. I'm not asking, like some people are, to remove the mayor. I think that's way too harsh. What I'm asking, as I emailed some of you today, is that maybe we censure her as far as the Planning Commission, because that's where it seems the point of contention is. Everyone seems to think that she has a conflict of interest with the Planning Commission because of her employment. If she didn't have that, if she were censured again not to use the Planning Commission, then she wouldn't have that as a problem. She could still function as mayor, but not be able to participate in the Planning Commission. That's just an idea. That way, no one could say that she was pressuring anybody to do anything. That's just an idea I want to throw out there, so we could get back to business as usual. Thank you.